it's kind of a bitter pill to swallow to realize that you don't have as much choice and control in your business as you thought you did, because we have an absence of choice and control in much of what we do, even though that absence is kind of veiled and kind of hidden, which is really infuriating on one level because you're here to express yourself. You're here to bring something very particular to the world. And that's probably bringing you considerable frustration because the ways in which you're implementing it, the systems, the beliefs that underpin those systems are not actually in attunement with your business and with your energy that you want to bring to the world. And we need to recognize when those values that we hold are being compromised or distorted by the beliefs that we're acting upon. So those beliefs are distorting our values in action. And they are beliefs that have not originated from you. They're beliefs that you have absorbed, taken on from the world around you. And I'll give you some examples in a few minutes. And these translate into actions that are not fully in accordance with the values that you want to act upon. Conscious business is pursuing a path of expression. It's being true to yourself. Now, that's only possible if the beliefs that underpin the actions that you are taking have originated from you and are true to you. You will be carrying beliefs that have not originated from you, and you will be acting upon them, but you may not have questioned them. And for example, you may have a belief that in order to sell what you need to sell, that you need to launch, which is not true, but that may be something that you have just worked on in your business and assumed to be the case, and you have continued to use that as a system in your business without actually ever questioning it. That's one example. But on the other side of it, you may have begun to question things because they're really uncomfortable for you. They're a real drain on your energy. So, for example, you may have a mailing list which you find exhausting to resource, but you've been told that you need to have it in place. So you've sort of railed against that belief, but at the same time, you've taken on board that you still need to have it in place. And that is bringing into your business an energy that doesn't need to be there, and is actually distorting how you want to express yourself in business, and therefore it's also distorting your values. Now, you may be questioning the extent to which really your choice and control has been taken from you, because you are a very aware person and you know what you think and you know what's important to you. But I can tell you from experience that every single person I have ever worked with on this has been holding beliefs that are not part of what needs to be in place for their business, and has been distorting their business. If you think about it, we live in a society where every aspect of our social structure and our global interactions is controlled by marketing, and we have these social constructs that we don't question that much, frankly, and they're in place, and we do need to question them. But if you think about it, the purpose of marketing is to control how we think, and that's not covert. It's not under the covers. There's no conspiracy theory. That's really upfront. Everybody says. And I actually read something a couple of weeks ago from a very well-known marketer who said, if you want people to adopt the beliefs that you want them to hold, and that is what marketing is. And it is a factor of our lives, our daily lives, not just in business. It's a factor, it's political, it's social, it's all the media is constructed around marketing concepts. And in fact, some of our biggest issues are marketing issues, as are driven by marketing. So our perceptions of global phenomena and global situations are driven by marketing. And it's a question of who puts the marketing spin on it. And that controls, so if it controls how you think about something, then it controls your values and it controls your sense of identity. Now, all of those things are absolutely pivotal to conscious business. So we have to reclaim them, but that's a part of our life that has been taking away our choice and our control. And that's really what I wanted to talk to you about today, so that you could have that awareness and some tools to actually address that. So no matter how aware you are, in some shape or form, your beliefs have been coloured and impacted by what is going on in the world around you. So you are holding beliefs and you are acting upon those beliefs. And that has created some sense of disconnection from yourself, some disconnection from your expression. And it means that on some level, your values have been distorted in action and they have not been what you would wish them to be. And you may be actually almost consciously aware of that and that level of discomfort that you may have over particular things that you are operating in your business. How do we change that? How do we step out of that narrative and create a new one? So the first step that we have to do is to take a very close look at our values and the actions that are consistent with them. And often we will have actions in place that are not consistent with our values because they're not applying them 100%. So, for example, are you fully respecting your audience and clients in ways that you would want to through the systems that you use? And that can be very hard if you are operating some of the mainstream systems because they're not there to respect your audience, they're there to control them. We also need to look at our beliefs around what you should be doing. Are those beliefs yours? And how do they impact how you behave in business? And you will find that potentially they are causing you to act in ways that you're not comfortable with on some level and in some way. So in business, we don't usually question the norms. We just go with them. But it's definitely time that we changed that and we started to really look at exactly what we're doing and why we're doing it and how we're doing it and how that is impacting our audiences and our communities and our clients. How is it impacting how we collaborate with others? How is it impacting how we show up in the world? These are questions that we really need to be asking ourselves now because that's the key to being able to step out of this and create a new form of business, which is what you're here to do. And that's what you've been striving to do. It's just that working with the mainstream and working with the norms is simply reinforcing them rather than allowing you to create something new. Now, it's possible that you don't know what the alternative is, and so you are simply continuing with what you have because, well, what's the alternative? And I didn't know what the alternative is. And there is always another way, but we do have to go through a very conscious process of giving ourselves permission to look for the other way, to give ourselves permission to step off that main path and find our own, because it's difficult to find the time often to take that pause and look for an alternative way. And part of the reason it's difficult to find that pause is because one of the beliefs that we have adopted in business that we don't necessarily question is the fact that we need to be doing. So it's very hard to program in or even make the space for time and a pause to do this work. But that has become, I have to say, the focus of my work is encouraging my clients to take a pause, to breathe out and allow themselves to see something in a different light. Because when we are in the thick of it and we're going and going, we can't see all of this. So sometimes that hiatus in that you might have in your business, and if you are struggling with that up and down in your business, take the down in order to have a really good look at it, because it will pay dividends and it will allow you to elevate yourself out of the frustration that comes with operating on belief systems that aren't your own. So questions that you can ask yourself to get to that point. And so if you're having that pause, if you found that pause, you can ask yourself is, what do you need to be in a position to choose an alternative? So not what is the alternative, but what do you need to get yourself to a position to choose an alternative? And then how can you resource yourself to be prepared and able to choose an alternative? So instead of really focusing on what is the alternative, because that will really frustrate you. because it's a big leap. You know, when and you will have probably experienced this with your clients, is that if you give them, if you can see what's really down the road for them and where they are now, they wouldn't be able to believe that that's possible because it's too big a step. And often when we're choosing an alternative, try and sit there and think, what is the alternative? And it's just gonna, you won't know because there is no space to do it. And often it's in the creating of the space that we find the solution. And it's so simple. It's always so simple. So the questions you really want to be asking yourself at this point is, what do you need to be able to be in a position to choose an alternative? And how can you resource yourself to get there? That's as far as you need to go at this point, because once you start that chain of events, you will move into a greater level of awareness of what is open to you and what is an option for you. So we need to regain our choice and control in business. It's really critically important at this juncture that we take a very close look at our beliefs and our systems that are running off those beliefs and asking ourselves, are they in tune with my business? And every single business is going to need something different. And that's part of the problem we've had. We've come from a space and a period of time when everything was like, if you want to do this, you need to do that. And there was no room for deviation, but that's not true down the line. That's not true for the businesses of the future. Every business needs to be really thinking about what it needs on an individual level and just creating that. And so for us as conscious entrepreneurs, it's really important to give ourselves permission to have that level of creative freedom in our businesses, to take what we might otherwise perceive as risks and look at things in a different way, because this is how we're going to rewrite the script. This is how we're going to change the narrative. We're going to change society from within by stepping outside of those norms.